What's up, everybody?
Wie geht's?
We are Deanna and Phil, and in this video we want to show you around a city that is very familiar to us and very dear to our hearts, and it might very well be the best student city in Germany.
Let's see.
All right, we're in the city of Göttingen, and with Göttingen we are very familiar with because I lived here for 6 years studying, and also it is the closest big-ish city to us, so we go here regularly to do some shopping or on some dates. And Göttingen is pretty much located in the very center of Germany. It is in the very southern end of Lower Saxony, has a population of 120,000 people, and the special thing about it is that out of these people, 30,000 are students, so it's a very well-known student city in Germany. And it also has a pretty rich scientific history. For example, I think I read a fact that 47 Nobel Prize winners were somehow connected to Göttingen. So if you talk about science, then Göttingen comes up a lot. So the question is, might this be the best student city in Germany? We'll show you around.
Are you interested in learning another language? Perhaps German, Spanish, French, English, or business English?
Yeah, I would like to learn German, but I don't want to have to go out to go to class.
What if I told you there's an option where you don't have to leave your home?
Really? You are telling me that I can stay here on my computer chair and still participate?
Exactly! Lingoda is an online language learning school with students and native level teachers from around the world.
All right, I just looked that up. Lingoda, huh? It says there's a sprint challenge and a super sprint challenge. What are those?
I'm so glad you asked. The Lingoda Sprint is an intensive language course for 2 months or 60 days that rewards you big time for consistent learning. It is a great opportunity to transform your language skills ranging from beginner to advanced. Plus, there's a chance to get 50% or 100% cashback.
What? 100% cashback? Is that real? I mean, I also have a pretty busy schedule here, you know, so how does it work?
It's real. The regular sprint challenge is where you take 15 lessons per month for 2 months and get 50% cash back for attending all of the lessons. And the super sprint challenge is where you take 30 classes per month for 2 months and you will get 100% cash back.
That sounds perfect. In the future, I either want to study abroad or travel to Germany, so I really want to improve my German. And I guess consistently learning is the best way.
The next Lingoda Sprint starts soon, and you can sign up today using the sign up link in the description of this video. We also have a voucher code for you to get another discount. The voucher code is PHILMAY to get 20 euros or $25 off of your initial deposit.
There are limited spots left, so if you are interested, you should sign up now.
My experience with it was great, and you can schedule your classes at any time during the day, which makes it very convenient to squeeze them into even the busiest schedule.
Sign up now and don't forget to use the link in the description plus the voucher code PHILMAY.
So like Phil said, we are very familiar with the city. We come here often. I really love it. I absolutely love the architecture. I feel it has a nice combination of medieval architecture, half-timbered houses, and then you have more modern buildings. And I love how the stores are very much integrated into all of these buildings. It's also a very young city. It has a young vibe. It's a very international vibe as well. There's a lot of people from Europe studying here, but then
a lot of international
students here. So I really like it.
Right, one thing I really like about the city is all the bicycles and the bikeability. I think bicycles are probably the main mean of transportation for all the students here. Example A, that's where you see a lot of bicycles parked all over the city, a lot of people riding the bicycles, especially when the weather is nice. And another fun fact, the city center, one of the places is called the Gänseliesel. It was one of these statues we just saw on this main square. And there's a tradition that when you graduate with your PhD, I think, people go and actually give it a kiss. I don't know currently during the pandemic how much people are still kissing it, just as a fun side note. Check it, we even spotted these. There's a bike shop right there, and then they have these bike pumps for public use, and I guess they're just secured there with this bar. Very bike friendly.
Yeah.
Biker friendly.
Bike. Work the booty.
we're just stepping out of the city center, which is there. We're making our way over to the campus section, and that's actually one of the great things about the city, which makes it so much of a student city, is how integrated the main campus is into the city center, and we're heading there right now. Inner city walking zone starts right there, and then right there, that's already campus area. You want to study?
Yes, let's study. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
It's free. All right, so we made it over to the main campus. And you can see in the background, a lot of students out here. This is like the main square of the main campus. And that's Diana, my wife.
I'm a student again, back in uni. Feels great. We call it uni here in Europe and the rest of the world, but in America we call it college.
Contemplating if we still fit in, if we walk through here. Do people think we're just students?
I think.
Or do they already think you're a professor?
What? I don't. Some of these students are my age. I think it's normal.
So having it this close to the city center, I think just amplifies that whole student feeling. In contrast to that, for example, when we went to Koblenz, we were in the old city, and I think the university and all that main stuff is a little bit outside of the city center. So there was no feeling of students being...
It's not as integrated.
Yeah, it's not as integrated as here. I think that is the main thing that gives Göttingen its vibe. The students are in this area and in the inner city, and you just see young faces, international faces everywhere.
Also, whenever I mention Göttingen, a lot of professors or people of science tend to know the city, which I was surprised about because it's not like Göttingen is a tourist destination in Germany or anything. But when I mention it, some people are familiar with it because of the science. Okay, the real question is, where did you sit in these lecture halls? Were you the front row? Were you the back row? Middle? Were you never in class? What did you do? Wow, this is actually really nice. Most of our lecture halls only had seats and you had to bring your laptop. You didn't have a little table. That's cool.
I always would have chosen the one in the far back, like all the way up there.
Typical. I was front middle, like third row, fourth row in, not the first row.
Your teacher's pet.
No, just so I could see the board. We have Professor Phil here.
What's up, guys? We're Diana and Phil, and we're gonna show you why this is the best student town in Germany, and I'm the best professor.
I don't know about that yet.
These are the halls, like lecture halls in these corners.
007.
007, that's the coolest one.
Wow.
That's how a university shows humor. We put little James Bond on there.
I think it's funny.
So we quickly stepped out here. This is some student housing. See more bicycles here. Also student housing. And the back, that is called the Blue Tower, the Blaue Turm, like the landmark of the university. If it's pretty or not, I'll let you decide, but...
I don't think it's that pretty, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the city doesn't have a lot of high rises, so you can see that one and then the city hall across the town.
You don't need to be that long to be pretty.
Yeah.
There, he got his dinner, he's happy. All right, aside from studying, what else is there to do? Eat. This is my favorite topic.
Yeah.
Phil got a dinner and I got a noodle box. There's a lot of good food around here, a lot of international food. I was honestly surprised by how many food options there were, and I feel like it's grown over the last 4 years since I first came and visited in 2018.
I think Göttingen always had a pretty good döner culture, which is important for every student. And in general, there's still a good amount of options for like lower cost food, like good value food. I lived here over a decade ago, and I think it definitely made a little bit of a transformation. There's a lot more modern, hip food coming up. Like there's so many new fancy Vietnamese places. There's like Japanese fusion food, a lot of Asian food in general. Then you have like fancier burger places like the Burgeria we went to one time.
There's the overhyped donuts that are trending in Germany. That's here as well.
Yeah, there's a couple of Mexican places popping up, which makes me very happy because I think we're lacking Mexican food in general in German cities.
We do a lot of Patreon videos in Göttingen in general. We tried a lot of the restaurants here because we knew we were going to leave.
And another thing that's popping up more and more in these cities is boba. There's actually at least 2 boba places, I think, in the city.
2 new ones since the pandemic.
And you really love boba.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
it too. One thing, if you ever need a good value, big schnitzel, the Schillerwiesen in the city center. Awesome restaurant. The schnitzels are
good.
like 10, 11 euros. They're big and they're so
They
good.
come with fried potatoes. We get the hollandaise schnitzel.
Yeah.
Mwah. That's a good
Yeah.
schnitzel.
So I think bottom line, Göttingen food culture is definitely developing and
Yeah.
it's pretty good. That's very good. I noticed recently, over the last 2 years of the pandemic, I think the doner prices are increasing.
Yeah.
This was 3 euros just like 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's 4.50. It's still affordable, but pretty drastic
Yeah.
increase in price. Doner, can't go wrong.
$250-year Wallpromenade, Göttingen. Wow, that's an old ass wall.
So this is the city's wall, and it's like an old defense wall that loops around the inner city. And
To protect them from the enemies.
exactly in medieval times. It does a full loop and it's about 3 kilometers, so it's very nice and often used for like walking or running.
Get your fitness on.
I don't know if you can tell, but those are all parked bikes over there.
We're making our way back into the city center, and that's actually the street I lived on for a couple of years, right in that building where it says kind, just above. There.
Good times.
Good times. Nice studio apartment, fresh young student, fresh out of my parents' house.
That was the
Memories.
dream. Spicy nude. It's a planet veg. A planet and path. Planeten veg.
Planetenweg.
Planeten veg. Where's the emphasis?
The Kartoffelhaus, the best restaurant in the world because it has potato in the name, Potato House.
We've never been there.
How hard do you want to go right now?
No, it's full.
And here we got the tennis with a TH, what we say tennis. And since the city's not that big, there are just a couple of bars where all the students go. That is the one, and it's right in the heart of the city as well.
And you also go to the square and get drinks because you're allowed to drink outdoors in Germany. So you can just go to the supermarket, buy a beer, and then sit out in this park and drink. How crazy.
Exactly, but you don't go to the supermarket, you go to the Europick, which is right behind it, which is basically another doner store, which also specializes in selling a lot of beer on the even in the evenings and on the
specialty.
weekends because of that park.
Whenever we would visit in the summer before the pandemic, there'd be a lot of people here on this.
Publicly drinking, totally legal and
It
fun.
blew my mind. This is park. We are in park. There's duck. You're welcome.
And then after the bars, of course, there's club and nightlife. And I think Göttingen, for the size, was always very decent for the nightlife. But over the pandemic, a lot of the clubs closed. However, I think for partying out, if the pandemic is over at some point, what are you doing?
Nothing.
I think Göttingen is a decent city, and one of the old school clubs is still open. It's called 1B, and it hosts my favorite party when I was here, which is a 90s party called Kill Your Idols.
I am a big partier in my bed
Are you?
with Netflix.
And Phil, Netflix and Phil.
Wow, that was pretty clever. Did you think of it just now?
Yeah.
Wow, new catchphrase. Netflix and Phil. I don't know what I'm doing with my hand.
Another big part of the university is the Uni-Sportzentrum. It's like here up on the hill. It's just like a 5 to 10 minute bike ride out of the city. And I really always enjoyed this area. They have this whole section of buildings over there, which has like a very good, very big gym, which is also very affordable. And you have over here like a lot of green area to use for everything. Every now and then they set up multiple soccer fields there to have like soccer tournaments. I also saw just now that they built this new stuff here, at least for me, that's new. A couple of soccer fields with a roof on top. And then further down, they have a whole climbing section. They have an outdoor climbing wall, they have an indoor climbing wall, they have a bouldering section. It's like the climbing center for the city. It's also up here with the university sport. And then in the back, they have the track and field, track around, and beach volleyball fields as well. So a lot of things that you can do. And there's lounge chairs as well. Best thing.
I'm working out. We have another grill station. I'm gonna be making the chicken, the protein, the broccoli. Here's the epic rock climbing wall. And it brings me back a bit because at the university I went to in the US, we had the facility like this as well. But I wonder how typical this is in universities throughout Germany, because I can't imagine Berlin having this. Maybe there is, I just don't know.
Good question. I haven't been to many universities, but I would assume that the ones in smaller cities have some facilities to use for the students.
Because there's more space.
But yeah, in the bigger cities, let us know where you studied, if you had similar sports facilities, recreational options for students.
Giant centers.
Or if it was even way better.
Dude, I remember at my university, there's a giant pool and a whole bunch of outdoor volleyball, and it was a whole bunch of people just tanning, and it was crazy.
I joined the tanning club at my university.
Yeah, I love facilities like this, but I think it was only for students and faculty as well.
Now we're old.
Now we're too old. I gotta go to school again.
Yeah.
Been considering it.
We go to couch. And then we wanted to make a point for the more chilling stuff, the recreational areas. And the city itself is pretty green. We're right now in a park called Schillerwiesen, and it's a very popular spot for students to come to, especially in summer, to barbecue.
Families as well. There's a lot of people.
Yeah,
there's a kindergarten or kinderplatz over there, a children's playground. A lot of people are just grilling. When the sun's out, so are the Germans. That's everyone in Germany is out when the sun's out.
So if you want to go outside the hustle and bustle of the busy city, of the campus and the studying, there's a lot of greenery, recreational areas too. This is also a very good starting point for hikes. And before we end the video here in the park, some things to consider if you want to go to Göttingen or maybe study or live here. The city, like I said in the beginning, has a population of 120,000. It's not too big, and it might miss some conveniences of bigger cities. Another thing I would really consider is the rental prices. For the size, it is not that cheap. I would say it's slightly above average German rental price.
They're higher than some cities like Hanover or Leipzig, and that's ultimately why we didn't end up moving here. We actually looked at a few apartments, we saw the prices, and we were like, if this is equivalent to bigger cities, why don't we just try a bigger city?
Yeah.
It would also be new for both of us since Phil already lived here.
Yeah, that's true, because bigger city doesn't mean better city. I lived here for 6 years and I really enjoyed my time studying in this city. I think the best part of the city is just the vibes, like these dogs everywhere. No, it's just like the people, the mix of people, the safety of the city. It's just a really easygoing, relaxed vibe that is going on here. I think for studying, it might be one of the best cities in Germany. Let us know what you think about that.
You might be a little biased since you studied here.
So let us know if you agree with this. Do you think this might be the best student city in Germany? And if not, which one is?
Which city is? Let us know.
I haven't been to Münster. Anyway, let us know in the comments.
Yeah. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.